If you'd like to, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I post every Wednesday. Hey everyone, this week's video is a continuation of my Machu Picchu series while I was in Peru. Last week I filmed my first day going to Peru, seeing Peru for the first time and seeing the village down below. And today is the following day on my Peru trip where I got to climb one of the mountains. So let's get into it. So I'm back for a second time in Machu Picchu. And we have some llamas back there, so we're not hiking up, but we went straight to Machu Picchu and we're doing like take our own time, kind of a walk around. And we have like cocoa leaves I can show you with incense. Apparently we're supposed to like do our own intentions and like set them free. And we have like a rock that we're supposed to do the same thing with. I'm not too sure, but it's kind of a cool idea, so we're gonna do that, and then we're going to, you take a bus up here and you can opt to walk all the way down, which is like 45 minutes. So I'm gonna opt for that because it's a walk down, so I should be fine. But yeah, I just love the llamas, and it's a lot more cloudy today, which is nice. It's like a cloud forest, so makes sense. And it's like 8:15. We're 8,000 feet up, so I'm still a little out of breath, but yeah, look at those llamas, they're so cute. I also saw a dog yesterday that I really wanted to take home. It's hard with the strays, but yeah, so I'm just walking around Machu Picchu, which is still wild. I just heard that. Is this a narrow? Trekked down the mountain, and yeah, so there's several peaks in Machu Picchu. I'm watching where I'm going because I'm not 100% done, but there's several peaks, and I was at like the smaller of the top. And you have to like sign basically your life away because it's like not super high up, but it's pretty steep. And the bigger one takes like multiple hours and is very dangerous to the point where my tour group EF is like, you're not allowed to. So yeah, I'm just getting down, and then we're gonna walk down to the river, and we got like rocks earlier and like kind of set the rocks free in nature with good intentions. So that's what I'm up to. I have 15 minutes to meet everyone, so I think I'm doing generally good on time. But yeah, I'm in the Peruvian jungle. He's just so like, hi, hello. It's like, leave me alone. It's like fully like, yeah, like a lawnmower. Hey everyone, I'm now back in Cusco, and I was here a couple of days ago, and I'm running out of battery, of course. So today was probably the longest day out of all of the days. I woke up at 5 a.m. and packed and had to have breakfast and check out and be ready to go by 6:30. And we ended up going back to Machu Picchu. It was a optional additional excursion with EF Ultimate Break. And if you look at the photos of Machu Picchu, there's like two peaks, and the smaller one we hiked up to the top because the bigger one is like extremely dangerous and takes all day, and EF doesn't allow it because people have like fallen off and died. It's like pretty intense. But we ended up going back to Machu Picchu in the morning, which we did Machu Picchu originally in the afternoon. So it was cool to see one day in the afternoon when it was sunny, and the next one it was like really misty and cloudy because Machu Picchu is in the cloud forest. And we got to take more photos. We got to go at our own pace and really like experience Machu Picchu at our own pace, which is really nice. And my tour guide had us do like a couple of ceremonies. So we basically got some like cocoa leaves and had some like infusions on it, which I mentioned earlier. And you basically find a spot and you just, with some intention, like let it go. So I did that on the very, very top of that mountain when we got there, and we did the same thing with a rock. So we chose a rock in the city area, and then we hiked up with the rock, hiked down, and for those of us, we had the option to either take the bus all the way down from the base or like walk 45 minutes down all of these steps, and there's a river, and from there you can just set your intention and then drop your rocks so that while you're facing the river. So we did that, and it was all really cool. I'm really happy I got to go back to Machu Picchu because it is the main reason why I and so many people go to Peru. And yeah, so we did all of that hiking, and then afterwards we got lunch, and then we took a 2-hour train ride, like that famous train with like the open windows at the top. And then we took another 2 hours after the train to Cusco. So after like hiking all of that time, we then took 4 hours to drive back. All right, sorry, I had to switch to my phone because my camera is out of battery. You can clearly tell the quality difference. What we ended up doing is we traveled for 4 hours, half by train, half by bus, back to Cusco, and we started in Machu Picchu. So after hiking for a couple of hours and having a 5 a.m. wake up time and traveling for 4 hours, you can only imagine how tired I am. But it was a very good day. I definitely recommend, if you go to Peru with EF Ultimate Break, to do the return trip to Machu Picchu. I think you have to book that like well in advance. So I definitely recommend it because it's just like the highlight of the trip, you know. And how many times will you go to Machu Picchu if you're lucky at all to go? And yeah, so we got here at around, I want to say like just before 8 p.m., quickly got into our rooms and then went out to dinner, and I had like a really good like eggplant zucchini dinner. So tomorrow is our, well, kind of our last full day. So tomorrow we have a free day in Cusco, and so a lot of people were debating on doing Rainbow Mountain or some other things, and I would love to do Rainbow Mountain. I've seen the photos, but the thing is, we are right now at like 11,000 elevation, like feet above sea level, and it can be hard to just like walk up the stairs or walk in general because the air is so much thinner and our bodies aren't used to it. Of course, we've acclimated and it's gotten better, but it's not like 100%. But Rainbow Mountain is 18,000, so it's like kind of almost double that. And it's like a strenuous hike. And for me, I love nature and I love views, but I'm not that into hiking. So I was like going back and forth because you have to find a balance between like making the most of your trip, and if you have FOMO, like to avoid it by doing the fun things, but also like honoring your body and knowing how much is too much. And when I've done a whole trip in Colombia before this, I've gone on so many hikes, I've had so many early mornings, and it's just exhausting. So I was already leaning towards not going. But also, Peru right now is having like a little bit of like a political turmoil, I guess you could say. Some people think it's like not the safest to travel here right now, but I felt very, very safe. But there are most likely going to be protests around here tomorrow. So Cusco is fine, but all the roads like leaving Cusco are closed. So any like day trips like Rainbow Mountain, that's 2-3 hours away, which also would be a 3 a.m. wake up time after all of the things I've done. That might not even be an option at all. So as of now, I'm thinking I've become pretty close with two friends that came here together, and I've kind of like joined, and we're now a trio, and one of them's also named Catherine, but she goes by Katie. But we're thinking of sleeping in a little, and when I mean sleeping in, I mean like 8 or 9 a.m., which to some of you is sleeping in. To me, that's not back home, but for EF, it is sleeping in. And so we're thinking of sleeping in and then going to, we normally have breakfast at the hotel because it's included, but there's a breakfast place my tour guide's recommending, and breakfast is only till 9 here, so I have to be like fully ready to go and like have eaten by 9. So sleep in, and we might go to Jack's breakfast, that's recommended. And then we have reservations at the chocolate museum, and we're gonna also make chocolate at 1:45, and then like before and after we're going to do some shopping at the markets, because I've had time here and there to shop, but not a crazy amount. But you've seen so far some of the things I've bought. And the farewell dinner is tomorrow, which is crazy. So yeah, that is the update. I'm going to shower and head to sleep. So yeah, and I'm going to charge my camera so that I can use it for future clips. Okay, good night. Hey everyone, it is now the next day and the second to last day of our trip, if you're not counting the day that I fly home. So today I haven't gotten too much footage, but honestly it was a much needed, slower paced day after hiking Machu Picchu 2 days in a row and doing another hike the day before that. So I woke up at around 9 or more so 8, but my alarm went off at 9, so I just like relaxed in bed for an hour and slowly got out of bed, met up with a friend, and then we went to Jack's restaurant, which was really good. I had like a breakfast spread of like eggs, bacon, potatoes, sausage, tomato, beans, the whole thing. And then we went over to do the chocolate making class, which I'll drop in some clips now.
Nước đó, đúng này. What is cacao?
Got this, you got this.
Sacrifice.
Okay.
Sacrifice. Sacrifice.
And then afterwards, we went to a shop nearby that is owned by a man and his family, and that man has like a connection to EF, and we met him on our first day here in Cusco. So I got some stuff from him that I can show you, and now I'm just like dropping things off, and I'm going to go to a market and then the farewell dinner. So yeah, let's show you all what I got. So the painting that I got is of a like llama and then Machu Picchu in the background, but it's all rolled up, so I'm not going to unroll it because I need to fly from here to Cusco and then back to the States. But I have poodles, or I had a poodle and I love them, and I found this Christmas ornament here. Let me show you. It's like a felt material. You can see the tongue, and it's just very cute. Even the booty has like a little hole, and I just thought this guy was so cute, so I had to get him. I've gotten 2 poodles and 2 llamas during this trip, and then I got this llama. So it's very cute, made from alpaca wool, and I got a brown one when I was in Ecuador, so I decided to get a white one, and I liked his face the best. And they got me a free hat because he did not have the hat, and then they added the hat, so it's so freaking cute. So I have to think of some names for them. And I got in last night, and I just realized, because the curtains were closed this morning and I didn't open them, how beautiful the view is. So let me show you. You can see the mountains in the background, and then you can see just some buildings, and I don't know what the situation is. It's like all the way down, just kind of open space. But yeah, that is the view. Very cool. Hey everyone, so I'm actually back home now. I forgot to end off this video when I was in Lima, Peru, and I'm trying to remember the last thing I told you all, but I think it was like the evening before the last day or something like that. It might have even been before we got to Lima, because we had our last full day technically in Cusco, and then we arrived to Lima, and most people actually only had a few hours until they flew back home internationally, so it might have even been in Cusco. But I did want to end off this video It is like almost 1 a.m. my time, and Seattle time or Pacific time is 2 hours behind Peru. So technically it's like 3 a.m. for me, and I've been traveling all day, so it's been really good. There was a little bit of like, I guess, confusion or complication with the tail end of my tour. I feel like because a lot of people don't do back-to-back trips just because it's, you know, more time people have to take away from work or family or whatever, and it's more money. Not as many people do it like I do. And so when you do back-to-back trips and you have your like flight home moved to the second tour, sometimes people fly out on overnight flights, meaning that there's no accommodation the last night because you don't need it. And for me, EF had booked my flight the day, like the 21st, during the day at 12 p.m. And so when I read that everyone else was doing overnight flights home, I was like, oh no, is this Ecuador all over again? Because this happened again where I did a back-to-back trip. EF booked my flight during the daytime, but everyone else flew out the night before, which means there's no accommodation. And EF was like being a bit stingy about not giving me accommodation, even though my tour was until the 21st and this would have been the night of the 20th. So I just want to be honest with you guys. I overall generally love EF. There's just like, you know, no tourist company is perfect, but this happened again where, yeah, everyone flew out overnight. I got the next day and EF booked my flights, but then they refused to give me a accommodation the last night. So they offered to move my flight to be overnight, and to be honest, I did not want to be up all day long in Cusco and fly from Cusco to Lima, have a few days or few hours in Lima, and then fly overnight back home, and then be home at like 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. or something like that, and then have to stay up so you don't like ruin your sleep schedule. I much rather preferred my original flight. So I just had my tour director work her magic with her connections, and she was actually able to get me a free accommodation with the hotel that we like had earlier in Lima. So it worked out in the end. It was just a little bit complicated, but yeah, I'm pretty tired. I'm home now, and I don't know, I always get like weird about when I get home. I'm sure a lot of people deal with this, but I always get like pretty serious like travelers or post-travel depression, which sounds silly, but I know it's a real thing. A lot of times I like don't want to leave on trips because I'm so used to my routine and I'm enjoying it. And when I travel, it's normally, especially with EF, it's like early mornings, go go go. And it's also like, for me who has like, I'm an introvert and social anxiety, it can be a lot to do this with like all new people. But then once the like first, second day is done and I make friends, I'm all good. But then I go home and having to like, you know, not have the excitement of an EF trip or travel or whatever, it can be hard. So yeah, hopefully it won't be too bad this time. I think it's especially hard when I lost my dog. So when everyone's like, oh, I'm so happy to go home to my dog, and I'm like, it just makes it harder. But it's really late, so I'm just gonna shower and go to bed. I do have some potentially exciting weekend plans. I really want to go. Taylor Swift is in town tomorrow. I don't have tickets. You all probably know the craziness of that. So I'm like excited / stressed about trying to figure that all out. But yeah, so I'm just happy though that I'm in town for it and there's a possibility. So anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in a future video of mine. I'm wanting to do a couple of reviews. I'm really trying to take advantage of my summer of being in between jobs and not having to like take care of pets or anyone right now. I'm in this special like situation right now where I don't have any responsibilities. I know I'm going to get pets in the future. I know I'm going to get a job in the future, although sometimes it doesn't feel like it because the job market is so like it takes it out of you. But as of now, I'm just making the most of it. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in a future video of mine.